I don't know if you can see it, but we're going to win. You got to understand, we're going to win right now.
What's up, everybody? This is Prime Sports Media. I'm very excited right now because this is the pregame show. I'm going to break some things down today about the matchup. We've got our Colorado Buffs against TCU, Coach Prime going against Sonny Dykes. This is going to be an exciting game. I can't wait. We've all been waiting for this moment since day one that Coach Prime took over Colorado, and he said, I'm coming with my Louis. We're going to change some things around here, get some better players in this system. We're going to do some things a little bit different. We're going to have a different move, the way we wear the uniform, the way we carry ourselves. And now the time has come. Saturday, this Saturday, September the 2nd, check your local listings where you live in the West Coast, East Coast, Mountain West, South, wherever the North, because you don't want to miss their debut against TCU down there in Texas. And I'm excited because I want to break some things down for you comprehensively. Now, Sonny Dykes had some very positive things to say about Colorado. Now, he says we're not looking at tape. Throw the tape out the way because there is no tape. This is a whole new team. Colorado was put together. Coach Prime's put together, okay, with a great defensive coordinator and Coach Kelly, who originally coached at Alabama as an associate defensive coach. Also, he coached the safeties, as I said in the following video. And Sonny Dykes says he's going to have to look at that Alabama tape to see what they were doing on defense at Alabama, because they're running a pro-style defense, everybody. So they're saying that even their players are saying, hey, we got to look at a whole bunch of tape because they've got players from all over the place. So you got to throw out last year's 1-11 Colorado football team. Okay, now he had some great things. Sonny Dykes had some great things to say about Shaduer. He had great things to say about Travis Hunter, saying that those are key guys that they got to watch out for. They got to recognize that they're dealing with Travis Hunter, who's going to probably play both ways, and he doesn't know exactly how Coach Prime is going to do it, but he knows it's coming. They are concerned about Colorado. Don't listen to the naysayers out there. This is a brand new team. TCU knows that it's a brand new team, and they're not taking things lightly. Hey, they've been training. They've been practicing. They're trying to figure out what they're going to do against this team, and you really don't know until the game day starts, okay? Now, let me start with this before I get into all the other juicy stuff, because I'm going to break down statistics here, what they were, TCU, what they were against the run, against the pass, because I'm saying to you right now, I believe Colorado can beat this TCU team, even though they were in the national championship just a year ago, but they not the same team as 2022. They lost a lot of great players to the NFL draft, like D. Winters, which one of their top linebackers playing in their 3-3-5 defensive formation, plays with my 49ers now. And I'm going to break down that defense for you, let you know how they can attack that defense. And with that defense, what their defense does to opposing offenses. Shaduer Sanders is the key to all of this, because Coach Prime said in the press conference this week, we got to keep number 2 upright, keep him upright. Okay. Now let's hear what Coach Prime had to say based on what I just said to you right now. What I want to do before I do this, which is the proper thing for me to do, is I want to say, warning, federal law allows for citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyright motion picture, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use, and is allowed for the purpose of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which does not infringe on the copyright under 17 USC 107. That's right. Check this out. Coach Prime, this is fair use. Check him out.
You protect 2. Give him a clean pocket. It's going to be some problems.
Hi, Coach. Adam Tiger, 24/7 Sports.
How you doing, sir?
Curious, as you've prepared for TCU, what your overall impressions are of the
First of all, great coaching. Great coaching, great staff. They did the unthinkable last year, and I'm proud of them. residing there in Texas for quite some time. They lost a lot of men that really good football players, and they replaced them with pretty good football players. One thing about that team and their head coach, they will be prepared. They will be fundamentally sound. They will come out emotional, play with emotions, trying to, atone for last season, the way that ended. But man, this team is it's a good football team. I'm happy with our opponent. I can't wait to get up there and see how we stand up to the challenge.
All right. As Coach Prime said, he has a lot of respect for Sonny Dykes. Sonny Dykes has had great things to say about Colorado as well. So you have two coaches that have mutual respect for one another. Sonny Dykes didn't get out there like other coaches in the country and start running his mouth and saying negative things about Coach Prime. He appreciates Coach Prime. This is going to be a battle for the ages this upcoming Saturday. So get your popcorn ready, get your drinks, your favorite seat, and relax and watch this game. Look, Colorado can beat this team. This team is not the same team as the naysayers were going to tell you that they can and will beat Colorado. Colorado can beat this team because this team has some glaring weaknesses that they can exploit. Okay, when I look at the numbers of what they did a year ago and what they're also ranked in 2023, these are the projections, of course. But never fear, truth is here.
Tell the truth.
And Prime Sports Media is going to give y'all the truth, y'all.
Tell the truth.
You are listening to Information Man.
All right, I'm going to tell you the truth. The Information Man, myself, we're going to tell you the truth here. Coach Prime has a lot of respect, but believe it, he's doing his homework. Everyone's doing their homework about this team. Let me go ahead and let you hear from Sonny Dykes what he had to say in his press conference in preparation for Colorado. They're very concerned, and I think Colorado has the advantage because they don't have any tape on these players. They don't have any tape on this team, even though they can go looking at tape, and he already said we're throwing the tape out the window. So let's go into this right here. Once again, this is fair use, everybody, fair use. And here he is, Coach Sonny Dykes. Fair use, fair use. Check it out, y'all. Check it out.
Coach, in terms of Travis Hunter, how do you game plan for a guy like that?
Yeah. I mean, he's obviously a really talented football player. I mean, it's interesting, somebody playing, two ways. That'll be interesting to see how they use him. I don't think that we have any idea, how much he's going to play on either side of the ball. I think we all have our guesses of what it's going to look like, but I don't know that we know that, and that's always different and interesting. He's a talented guy, does a good job going and getting the ball. He can obviously run. He made a bunch of big plays offensively last year when they needed him to, and my guess is that'll be his role this year when he goes in the game. I'm sure they're going to try to figure out how to get him the football. And when they do, we're going to have to do a good job of playing the ball in the air and being physical with him, and and not letting him run through our defense unimpeded. We got to do a good job getting our hands on him, trying to slow him down, get him out of rhythm, and he can go up and, like I said, make plays with the football when it's in the air, and we've got to do a good job of battling and making sure we're in position to make those plays.
All right. So Sonny Dykes made the admission about Travis Hunter that they haven't seen anything like this before because they don't know whether he's going to play defense, offense, or both. They don't know exactly. They know that they're going to get Travis Hunter, as you see him there in the middle. They're going to get him heavily involved. You know this. Coach Prime has said that this man is the one. He is it. And Coach Dykes is concerned. Okay, even though he's giving these press conferences and saying all the right things, you know that they are concerned about what this man can bring to the table. We're talking about Travis Hunter, y'all. Travis Hunter. Now, this is what he had to say about Shaduer Sanders when they were asking him a question about how they're going to deal with Shaduer Sanders. Now, it turned out that Sonny Dykes was looking at one time he said that Shaduer Sanders, when he was playing with his father at True Academy, when he was playing in Texas, that Shaduer was on the radar, that they had their eyes on Shaduer when he was coaching at SMU, ladies and gentlemen, that Shaduer was someone that they highly had respect for and felt that, this kid can play football. He was aware of Coach Prime, Shaduer Sanders. He was aware of his son. Remember his son, Coach Prime's son, Sanders Jr. If I'm not mistaken, he played football at SMU, if I'm not mistaken, because Sonny Dykes said that he remembered his older son at SMU, where he coached as well. Now, let me know if I'm correct about this in the comment section, folks, but I believe that I'm cooking with grease right now on the truth of this. Now, let's go ahead and hear what he had to say about Shaduer Sanders in their preparation against Colorado this Saturday. Here we go.
As well, Shaduer Sanders, what have been your impressions, and did you get a chance to see him at Trinity Christian?
Yeah. So saw him play in high school. Was impressed with him as a high school player. Certainly was on our radar. At the school I was at previously, and so saw him play quite a bit. Deion's older son played at SMU.
Okay, I was
so
right,
they were,
y'all.
Around the program a little bit, and I was kind of familiar with Deion and his family a little bit, and obviously knew about Shaduer. And I've seen him progress. I mean, he's done exactly what you would expect a young, talented quarterback to do. He just gets better all the time. He's a threat to run the football. He does a nice job of understanding how to throw the ball. I mean, he's throws the ball to spots. He's does a good job throwing on the run. He moves around well, does a nice job in the pockets, good decision maker. I think has a lot of confidence in his ability and his teammates' ability. And I think so he's, you can see the progression of that young quarterback, and I think he's taken a lot of snaps. And I think the fact that he's played so much, I think will serve him well, going into the game Saturday. I mean, he's experienced and he's done it before. And, like I said, I think he's got a lot of confidence in his ability and his supporting cast ability as well.
All right, folks. So he breaks down that they were looking. I was correct in the things that I said earlier, but they are trying to figure out Colorado, just as Colorado is doing their studying. They're studying tape on TCU. And let me go ahead and give you this breakdown right here. Now, this is important. Their quarterback, I think his name is Morris Chandler. This is a young man who is now the quarterback of TCU. This is why Colorado's got to put pressure. Their defensive line has got to get pressure on this kid, because this kid has a history of being a little shaky. He's lost his starting job a few times. He's lost opportunities a few times. And he, according to all the outlets, is a key player to watch out for this upcoming Saturday. Okay. You're going to hear him in the press conference giving his views on Colorado as well. Just like Shaduer Sanders, he is a son of a father that's a coach. But I think Colorado can win this game, because I think that defensive line has got to get pressure on this Morris. I think his name is Chandler. They've got to put pressure on the quarterback. I'll just say the quarterback of TCU, Morris. They can get pressure on him. They can rattle him, because he has a history of coming unhinged, which is why he's lost his position as a starting quarterback in years past. Let me hear let me let you hear, to be correct, what he had to say about preparing for Colorado. Check this out. They are concerned, folks. They are concerned. Check this out. Once again, this is fair use for education purposes, criticism, news reporting under USC 107, fair use. Check this out.
Definitely challenging. I mean, it's similar to last year, and just kind of that first game, it's kind of difficult to really study, especially with a new coaching staff and 86 new players on the roster. So kind of breaking down Bama, watching a little bit of Alabama since their coordinator was from there. Personnel-wise, you're going to have to watch probably 37 different games just to get a little bit of a personnel input on that. So,
All right. So basically he's saying in a nutshell, you got to watch 30 games, and you know they're not going to be able to watch all those 30 games in preparing. This is a quarterback who does not have a track record of being highly successful. So he's getting his shot again. I think they need to go right in after him, rattle him. I hope they can get some pressure off the edge against this team. Now, we got to keep this in mind. And this is something that Coach Prime, as they get ready to play in the Big 12 next year in 2024, this is the Big 12, as I just said right here. This is the Big 12. And one of the things you need to know about the Big 12, everybody, is that they play, a lot of the teams in the Big 12 play a spread out type of air attack offense where they like to spread you out, a lot of finesse, a lot of deep passes, crossing routes, underneath coverages and what have you. And you want to spread teams out, spread them out thin to take away their power, take away their ability to penetrate the middle, because you want to spread them out, get guys on an island, right? Attack zone coverages. And if teams dare play man to man, you want to expose people on those islands in that secondary. And so this is one of the things that TCU likes to do, that Colorado has got to be prepared for. And they play high-paced type of offense, okay? They're very high-paced offense, very energetic offense. But in my last video, Shaduer Sanders clearly said, if you guys try to play that up-tempo offense against us, our defense is built for this, because we got guys that can swerve around. Now, one of the knock on Colorado is that people are saying that they look small, they don't look big. Look, it's about knowing your assignments, having confidence, knowing what you have to do, and you have to execute. Their size could be their advantage against TCU, or their ability to play with TCU, because they are a team that plays a finesse type offense, spreads you out, get the ball down the field deep. Now, the defensive line of Colorado has got to penetrate, get a lot of pressure on this quarterback who's a little shaky, y'all. This is why they have a chance. It ain't like the TCU ain't got no world beater quarterback. This is a quarterback that's had some issues. But I want you all to hear an audio that I played in the last video that I did, but I shortened the audio to get right to the point of what I'm saying. Listen to Shaduer Sanders right now. We're talking about, not Shaduer Sanders, excuse me. I want to correct that. I'm talking about Shaduer Sanders. I want to be correct right now. Correct. I'm talking about Shaduer Sanders, who's playing in that secondary. Hear what Shaduer Sanders had to say at his press conference about preparing for TCU right now.
You said that the guys are getting into TCU stuff this week. Are you experiencing that as well, and what does that look like?
Man, I've been watching them, but now coaches are, starting to show us more of what they do. So it's great.
What's your early analysis of that team?
I mean, we're here to dominate. That's how we're thinking. That's how we're preparing. We're not preparing just to win, because that's not really enough. Because, you see all our coaches, we're great. So they expect greatness out of us. That's Travis over there being loud.
I asked Shaduer this a couple weeks ago, and he said it's nice to have you on the other side as compared to the spring where it was just him, just kind of the energy that both of you bring and kind of talking trash to the other side. Have you kind of experienced that as well, and just kind of going back and forth with him every day?
That's my brother, so of course. We talk the most junk, we cuss each other out before practice and all that. But it's going back to what I said about competing, that's what we like to do. So whenever he sees me, he knows that I'm like that. I know he likes competing too, so it just raises the bar for both of us.
Does that rub off on the rest of the team as well, do you see?
I hope so. But we got some dogs, though, so I think it does.
Coach Kelly mentioned that you have a mature approach to the game. How would you kind of elaborate more on that and what you bring to the table?
I just been around good coaching. So whenever he finally got to coach me, he's like, you know, I could work with this guy because he knows a little something. And I just understand what he's the ideas he has. I understand what he's trying to get to, and I understand the reason that he does certain things. That's why I ask him a lot. I ask him a lot of questions, but it's so I can understand and be on the same page as him, so I could be like an extension of him on the field, you know.
How does practicing against an offense at tempo and speed help the defense while conditioning and getting ready for tempo?
Well, we like playing fast as a defense. Like, I don't know if you guys know who we got out there, but we're a really fast defense and we play quick. So after the play's done, we're always looking for the call and getting lined up. So, I mean, tempo doesn't really mean nothing to us, but I mean, there's some cons if your offense running tempo, and we're going to exploit all those if anyone wants to run tempo against us.
Last question. What's impressed you so far about
All right, everybody. Incredible, incredible, incredible what the man said. We're talking about Shaduer Sanders, who said, we have a quick team. We can play up-tempo. And you know that's the type of offense and style that TCU runs, and style of offense that is run in the Big 12. So they're going to be prepared for the Big 12 when they go there in 2024. And Shaduer Sanders said, we're prepared to play that up-tempo style. And if you do it, I'm warning you, he said, Shaduer Sanders, that we are prepared to deal with it. This team's got confidence. Now, just so you I want to break this down. This is on TCU's side. Now, their quarterback, okay, Morrison, he is a guy that they're saying that is a key guy to look at on Sunday, okay? Colorado needs to also pay attention to defensive lineman Dominique Williams from TCU. You got to be this is a guy that's a rusher, going to put a lot of pressure. So definitely, as Coach Prime said, as I'm going to remind you again, we got to keep number 2 upright again.
Protect 2. Give him a clean pocket. It's going to be some problems.
All right. That's right. We protect 2. You protect Shaduer Sanders, then there's going to be some problems for TCU. This is why they can beat TCU. So Colorado needs to be very vigilant and aware of this defensive lineman, Dominique Williams. On defense, since Shaduer is not on defense, but Shaduer Sanders is on defense, they need to be aware of Savion Williams, who is a receiver, top receiver for TCU in their air raid type offense. So they're going to definitely have to key on him. Now, for Colorado, another key player that they're going to have to be aware of, or Shaduer Sanders needs to key on and be aware of, is TCU's top-notch defensive back, Josh Newton. He is the man. He has great cover skills, can cover man-to-man zone coverage, big kid, very, very fluent in his movement. So Colorado has to be aware and focus on where he's at on the field and who. This is what I'm looking at. What's the matchup? Will it be a Travis Hunter matching up against him? I would love to see that. But I would love to see a Jimmy Horn, who you see to the far right. And then I would love to see a Kamani McLean in the middle that you see of the picture, who's their top-notch 5-star cornerback recruit. I want to see, is he going to match up against Savion Williams of TCU? Or will it be the man who's going both ways? You know him, Travis Hunter. Will he be matched up against their best Look, there's so many possibilities. Of course, let's keep in mind TCU has a very talented tight end in Wiley, number 19. Watch out for number 19 on that field on Saturday, their tight end, and how they use him. But then again, I got to give an honorable mention to Colorado safety, who I haven't talked much about. That's Trevor Woods. Trevor Woods is playing in that secondary. And Trevor Woods is someone key that was put out there that it's a key player for Colorado this Saturday that you need to keep an eye on. That's Trevor Woods of Colorado. I'm telling you right now, Colorado can do some things against this team. Last year, let me just tell you where TCU was at last year against the run. TCU ran the football effectively. This is what Colorado's got to look out for what they do on offense. TCU in 2022 ran the football effectively during the 2022 season, averaging 193.3 yards per game and leading the Big 12 Conference with 37 rushing touchdowns. TCU, 2,899 rushing yards for the season, ranked second in the Big 12. So they're ranked second in the Big 12 in rushing, but that was last year when they had all those NFL-type players on this team. They've lost a lot of guys, so they may not have the same luster that they had last year because they've lost a lot of players. So there's some unprovenness there too within the players that are going to be playing that didn't play a lot a year ago with TCU. TCU, in terms of passing, going up against Colorado's defense, they're ranked 261.7, which makes them the 39th. They were ranked 39th in pass offense in the country, 39th. In rushing overall, they were ranked the 31st best college football team in overall rushing at 193.3 yards per carry. Per game, let me correct that. 193.3 yards per game, not per carry. I want to correct that. Per game, not per carry. That was last year. Now, this is what they are predicting for this year. And you know, this is all rankings. This is all what people believe based on what they see the personnel as being. For 2023 TCU football season preview, their defense. And I'm going to talk about their defense and what kind of defense that they run and how Colorado has got to exploit their defense. TCU ranks 70 this year on defense. In 2022, that's what they ranked in defense in 2022. This includes 58th ranking in the run defense, 123 ranking pass rush, and 50th ranking in their secondary. This is the ranking for the whole country. So this is why Colorado can beat TCU. They don't have the same team and personnel that they had a year ago. And overall in the country, their ranking in defense wasn't something that you could write home to mom about. They weren't like the most dominant defense in the country. They weren't even in the top 10 of defenses. And they're coming off of a year that they went below the radar. People didn't expect them to be in that national championship, but they were, and they got thrashed around by a high octane Georgia team. Now we know that Georgia runs the ball. Colorado can run the ball. They've got Alton. Should I put them up here? You've got Alton, who they see as their number one running back. Okay. We know he can slash between the tackles, run outside the tackles, catch the ball out of the backfield. he will pose a threat. We know that they got Cavassier Smoke, who played at Kentucky. He, too, can run in between tackles, catch the ball out of the backfield, can cause a lot of problems. I'm saying to you that they've got key guys. You've got Brother Anthony, who played with Colorado during that 1-11 season, but he's got some talent. Let's not sleep on Savion. Let's not sleep on Savion here, who played. Savion played with Coach Prime at Jackson State. He can be run in between the tackles. He can run you over. He runs with power and can catch the ball out of the backfield. So what I'm saying is that Colorado has some dogs to compete, because I think the goal to beating this TCU team is to attack them on the ground, eat up clock, keep them looking at the game on the sideline, control time of possession, keep those chains moving. Don't allow Shaduer Sanders to be in bad situations where he has to throw in the bad situations. Keep him upright. Keep his uniform clean. Give him time. And it's going to be a long day for TCU, because what does Colorado have on the outside? They've got some receivers in Travis Hunter. They've got some guys who can create havoc, like Jimmy Horn, Dotson. They've got some guys in their receiving core that's going to cause a lot of problems. Now, I want to remind you, their defense in 2022, even though they went to the national championship, we're talking about TCU, was ranked 78th in the overall college football. Their rushing defense was ranked 70 in overall college football, even though their rankings were a little bit higher in the Big 12 in their conference. Those numbers shouldn't scare you. It shouldn't scare Coach Prime or this Colorado team, because they've lost players off of that team that put up those national type numbers. Okay. Now, TCU had 76 pass deflections, 14 interceptions, because they run a 3-3-5 defense that is designed to go against passing offenses. They were 70th in the nation in terms of their overall defense. They had 26 sacks a year ago, and they've lost. I'm going to emphasize they've lost players. Now, I want to give you the key players that they're talking about for Colorado that they're looking at right now, saying that these are key guys to look at for this Saturday's game. As you know, they're talking about Shaduer Sanders. They're talking about Travis Hunter. And they're talking about this young man right here, Edwards. They're talking about the young running backs fresh out of high school, Dylan Edwards, that they see that he is a young man that everybody better be watching for on Saturday, okay? Also, I want to talk about this brother right here who was a transferred player from Alabama. Kennedy is his name. He's a middle linebacker, if I'm not mistaken. And they're saying that he's a guy that you better watch out for on this Colorado defense for this Saturday, that he can really cause a lot of havoc. They're saying that he's highly athletic, can move side to side, lateral speed and agility, ability to attack and tackle. So we better watch out for him. They also were talking about one of our favorites, and that is Kamani McLean. 5-star 5-star recruit that came out in 2023. Now, look, I don't know how Coach Prime is going to use him, if he's going to throw him out there right away, but they're saying already that he's a key player to look at on this Colorado team in this game this upcoming Saturday. Kamani McLean, standing at 6'2", 165 pounds. He was the #1 cornerback coming out of high school. And of course, he's been working out. He's been conditioning and getting ready for the challenge this upcoming, and I'm going to say again, this upcoming Saturday, ladies and gentlemen. I think this is fantastic. Now, what I want to do in the next part of my presentation is, as I said before, when you look at the Big 12 and how they operate in the Big 12, it's a passing lead. They spread you out. They do air raid passing style on you. And this is why TCU runs what they call a 3-3-5 defense. I'm going to be very comprehensive here, very to the point, very simple. I'm going to break down what the 3-3-5 defense is. So to give you an example right here, this is an example of a 3-3-5 defense. The 3-3-5 defense system is predicated on speed, versatility, and presenting an unconventional look for opposing offenses, and the TCU Froghorns aren't afraid to add new wrinkles to this type of defense. So what you see here, it's a defense that's predicated on 3 down linemen, 2 defensive ends, 1 defensive tackle, or what we call a nose guard, right? Middle linebacker, 2 outside linebackers, 1 on the wheel, 1 on the other side, linebackers, 3 linebackers, which is designed for them to do what? Hit the gaps, right? Then you might have 2 cornerbacks, you might have 3 cornerbacks, 2 safeties, or you might have 2 safeties, 1 free safety, a safety who drops down into the box, depending on the formation. Let me show you this right here. Right here, everybody. So right here, 3-3-5 defense. You have a free safety at the top right there, cornerback. The defensive ends are playing like a wide. You got the defensive tackle or nose guard over the center. Then you've got, once again, the 3 linebackers. Now, what I want to explain to you is that the defensive backs, the way they play this type of defense, and I'm going to show you this right here. Part of this defense, this 3-3-5 defense, is that you want your linebackers to hit those gaps, as I said before, but you also want your defensive backs to be able to attack, or you use an extra safety to bring them down in the box, okay? Now, TCU relies on their speed and playing a 5 defensive back set, right? Which is an easy way to do that when you want versatility and more speed on the field, okay? It allows you to play fast and allows you to play free. I just told you that Josh Newton is their top defensive back. Colorado needs to be, or Shaduer Sanders, and the receivers need to be very aware of where he lines up, who he's covering, how he's moving around in this 3-3-5 set, okay? Let's go back to this now. Playing just 3 players along the defensive line, as I had just mentioned before. I'm going to put this back up to make it a little bit easier orchestration. So you got the 3 down linemen, right? The 3 defensive linemen, right? You play 3 players along the defensive line. TCU deploys an extra safety, and I showed you there's an extra safety in this formation. You got 1, 2, 3. You got a safety over the defensive end to the right, a free safety at the top, another safety right over the right side near the cornerback to the right side, okay? Now, TCU likes to employ an extra safety. In part, it's a response to the air raid spread style offense that dominates, as I said before, that dominates the Big 12, ladies and gentlemen. So this is why they're playing this offense. And as you can see right here, where you have the middle linebacker going inside where it has red, which is going in between the tackles. So you want those defensive tackles or a defensive nose guard to create havoc, to allow the middle linebackers to shoot the gaps, to get in there on blitzing formations and things of that nature. Now check this out right here. TCU, ladies and gentlemen, TCU safeties will double as an extra cover guy. This is what Shaduer Sanders need to be aware of when he is under the huddle, when he is calling out the plays. When they play this defense, they need to be aware of where that extra safety is, because the extra safety is a cover guy. The true importance of this 3-3-5 offense that TCU uses is to provide another head to fly at the ball, to get quicker to the running back, to get quicker to a tight end running a crossing route. Let me correct myself, a crossing route, or a receiver running a crossing right, or a dig route, or any of these type of routes. You're going to get you put an extra safety out there to have more speed on the outside or in the box to attack. Okay, this is what TCU is employing here that Colorado needs to be aware of. And I'm sure Coach Prime, they're watching this on tape, on video, and they are aware of what TCU likes to do, just like TCU is watching Colorado tape. Okay, true importance to providing another head to fly to the ball. TCU uses safeties to hit on the run, like this right here. They may use a safety to stop you from running, and we know that Colorado has plenty of great running backs on this team. Now, linebackers, what I said before, the linebackers, you give 3 linebackers in this defense, and the opportunity, part of it is giving their linebackers the opportunity to make plays on the running back and to hit the gaps, as I said before, to get downhill and get their hands on the ball, allowing them to get out of the box quicker, smoother, and boom. This is what we're talking about. We're talking about boom here. Lightning and thunder. So Colorado, Coach Prime, coaching staff, Shaduer Sanders, the running backs, all of the great players on this team need to be aware of how they're operating, how they're moving. Now, the defensive line for TCU that Colorado needs to be aware of is, while there are only 3 linemen in this 3-3-5 system, the importance is because they are responsible for holding the gaps and allowing, as I said before, the linebackers to slip through. So what I believe Colorado has to do with their offensive line is that they got to make sure that they control their gaps, that they don't allow TCU to slide in there with their safety dropping down, their linebackers trying to cut the gap to put pressure on Shaduer Sanders. What did Coach Prime just say before, ladies and gentlemen? He said this:
You protect 2, give them a clean pocket. It's going to be some problems.
You protect 2, you give them a clean pocket, and there's going to be some problems. There's going to be real problems. I'm looking forward to this game. I think Dylan Edwards is going to show out. Cavassier Smoke is going to show out. We know Alton's going to show out. Brother Anthony from last year's team has got a lot to prove because he went 1-11 with last year's Colorado team. You know he wants to show out. We know that Savion wants to show out if opportunity is given to him. We know that this Colorado team is ready to do great things. And this is why I'm so excited about what's happening, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you for listening to this podcast. Make sure you share this video and all your social media. Share in your community tab. Tell people about the channel. We're now at 12,000 because of you. I'm excited about this season. Every week I'm going to be doing a show and we're going to break down what happened in the games, good or bad. This is why I believe Colorado can beat this TCU team. They just need to just be aware and prepared as they are about what this team is going to do on defense, what they like to do on offense. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll be back. Y'all enjoy the game as I'm going to enjoy the game, and I'll see you very soon, everybody. Thank you. Peace.
Right now. Y'all know it, but we gonna win. I don't know if you feel it, but we gonna win. I don't know if you can see it, but we gonna win. You got to understand, we're gonna win right now, not later. Right now. I don't know if y'all know it, but we gonna win. I don't know if you feel it, but we